Jalen Ramsey has been seen as the bona fide number one cornerback in the league for years now, all the way back to his time in Jacksonville, but even as recently as this year, as PFF and many NFL fans still rank him as the league's best corner. And even though I agree, and for the 2022 season, there isn't a single corner I would take over Ramsey, but I think the window of him being the undisputed number one corner in the league isn't going to last for too many more years. We see other players that are reaching their primes like Jair Alexander, AJ Terrell, JC Jackson, Xavier Howard, and others, and even younger breakout stars like Pat Surtain, Eric Stokes, and Greg Newsome are really starting to come into their own. But with that being said, we also saw some new elements from Ramsey's game last year that we've never seen before that makes him even better. We saw him under new defensive coordinator Raheem Morris do things that we never saw him do when Brandon Staley was calling plays. We saw Jalen travel around the field playing the other team's number one a lot less. We saw him playing in the slot a lot more and be around the ball. And we saw him make plays. He usually has his back to the quarterback while he shuts down the team's best wideout, but this past year we saw his eyes in the backfield a lot more, being able to read and flow to the ball and go on to break up passes you didn't think were possible. And he also came up and showed that he is one of, if not the most physical cornerbacks in the league. He even talked about his play style and how it's compared to a guy like Trevon Diggs.
I ain't gonna lie, I hate it when people compare me and Trayvon. We play completely different. Like, I always play out of phase, he always plays in phase.
And he's right. We saw him play out of phase a lot more. And the thing is, he's exceptional at it. His football IQ is off the charts, and it's never been on more full display than it was last year. We've always been in awe of his athletic ability, and now I'm in awe of both. But we've also seen him do some things last year that we weren't used to seeing. We saw him give up a long touchdown throw against the Bucs late in their playoff game to Mike Evans to get the Bucs right back into the game. And even on the last play of the Super Bowl, emerging star Jamar Chase had Ramsey beat. And if it wasn't for the JV interior O-line Burrow had last year and the greatness of Aaron Donald, we'd be talking about this play a lot more. But this isn't abnormal. This is the natural progression of a cornerback's career. Once they don't have the juice anymore, they go to the slot, and then they find themselves playing safety. But Jalen Ramsey is no normal cornerback. And this isn't where he's at in his career yet by any means. He is still the best cornerback in the league. But I think we saw some signs last year that he might make an even better safety. When we think about the best safeties of all time, one of the names that always pops up is Ronnie Lott. The bruising, hard-hitting safety from the 49ers for all those years, and one of the best cards in Madden year in and year out. But what is probably less well known is that the first 4 years of Ronnie Lott's career, he was a 4-time Pro Bowler and 1-time first-team All-Pro at corner. And please, let me be clear, this is not a video saying that Jalen Ramsey is washed by any given means, far from. But as he goes into his 7th year in the NFL and his 28-year-old playing season, he's becoming a little bit older in terms of cornerbacks. But I think in the next few years, and me trying to be ahead of the curve, and possibly as soon as this year, I'm expecting Jalen Ramsey's playing style and even position to look slightly different. And not only do I think this will no doubt extend his career, but I think Jalen Ramsey has the potential to have a Ronnie Lott arc and also become one of the best safeties in the entire league. And I'm going to show you how. And I guess you can call all of that an intro, but we really need to set the stage to get into the topic of today's video, which is we're going to be looking at some film to show you why Jalen Ramsey has the skill set and all of the tools to make the transition to possibly be an even better safety than he currently is a cornerback in the NFL, which is high praise, but I'll show you why it's absolutely warranted. And we know what he can do on the outside. We've been watching his greatness in man coverage for years now, so we're not going to look at that. But let's look at some plays where Jalen Ramsey is in some different positions on the field, and let's see what he does, starting with this play here against the Lions. And we have Jalen Ramsey in the box right here, almost where a linebacker would play. And so coverage-wise, this could mean a few things. He could be man-to-man with the running back, he could leak out into the flats, or he could just be patrolling the middle of the field. But you can't be in this position right here if you're not going to be an integral part of the run game, or else this is just advantage offense. And so on this play, when we see it's going to be a toss sweep, we need Jalen Ramsey to be able to come up here and make a play in the run. And as we see, his athletic ability, which made him so good in coverage, also makes him good in the run game, and the physicality matches it off. This initial first burst, this first step right here, just be able to tack downfield, see through everything. The right guard, right tackle can't reach block to come get him, and he's able to come up and make a tackle for loss. And putting him in the box right here has its advantages in coverage too. He's closer to the running back he'd be covering. There's outside leverage. He can allow his eyes to be in the backfield. He can see and read the quarterback's eyes. But when it's a run, still have all the athletic ability, the skills, the tool sets, and the physicality to go up there and make a huge tackle for loss. And we saw Jalen Ramsey thrive when he was able to have his eyes in the backfield, because not only does he have the physicality to get it done, but it allows his football IQ to be off the charts. If he was right here on the line of scrimmage, man-to-man with Julio Jones, this is where we would normally be, but he wouldn't be able to be a part of a play like this. And so when this is going to be a jet sweep to A.J. Brown, it's actually going to be a reverse right here. And we see the football IQ from Jalen Ramsey. When this flip happens, it is synchronized. His foot is, boom, planted, and he's already getting downfield. And this is exactly what the Titans wanted. They got the reverse off, and not only do they have one man on the outside, they also have a blocker who has outside leverage. But again, Jalen Ramsey being able to sniff this out so early allowed him to use his football IQ to be in the position, and now he can use that athleticism to slip underneath, break down, and get a huge tackle for loss. Whereas otherwise, if he was man-to-man on Julio, he wouldn't be able to make this play. And if there was someone else in this position, they probably wouldn't be able to make this play as well. But this isn't the only time teams try to take advantage when Jalen Ramsey is going to be outside contained. What the Bears are going to want to do is they're going to run a toss sweep to the left, and they get exactly what they want. They have Cole Kmet motioning now. Jalen Ramsey is going to shoot the inside, making Allen Robinson's job easier to seal him in, and this left guard is going to pull around and get to the outside. But the two things remain the same. Jalen Ramsey is able to have his eyes in the backfield using his football IQ and his athleticism that makes him test off the charts. He gives Allen Robinson exactly what he wants, and he just beats him to it. But he shoves him right into the left guard, who's going to try and get open in space, and who wins this matchup. Jalen Ramsey is able to push him back a good 3 or 4 yards on this play. But the play isn't over yet. He sees the running back. He's going to make sure he's not able to cut back in and secure up the tackle for no gain. But him being on the line of scrimmage isn't just for the run game either. They can send him on blitzes, and he had a lot of success playing around the line of scrimmage this past season. Like on this play where he's going to come on a delayed blitz, go on a stunt, and get after Jared Goff and severely disrupt this throw. And this is part of the reason I think the Rams defense was able to be so good last season. Having one of their best players, it's crazy you can't even say the best when you have Aaron Donald on your team, but to be around the ball more, be able to use his football IQ, see in space, and make plays happen. And I love this play right here because you get to see two of the best minds, offensive minds and defensive minds in the game go at it right here. We have Aaron Rodgers on a play-action boot. Jalen Ramsey's ready to be a part of the run game, but then Tunyon, he's going to come out and spill out into the flats. Jalen Ramsey, do I drop back in coverage? Do I come up? Are you going to throw it? Rodgers pump fakes. It's just this mind game back and forth of what I'm going to do. And Jalen Ramsey, as soon as Rodgers decides that he needs to throw it and just pick up a few yards, if not the first down, he's able to break on it immediately, play out of phase, go right back to being in phase, and hold the Packers to no gain. And these are just all examples of him playing in the box, but I just wanted to show you that his linebacker or safety instincts and his ability to come up and make tackles in open field and be one of the most physical corners, and why I think it's going to translate so well to playing safety. And this is just stuff you can't teach. He waits, he uses his angles, he makes sure the lineman isn't able to use his block, he waits till the receiver makes a break on it and picks his pursuit angle, and then he goes to cut it off. And so at no point in time could the receiver have chosen right. If he decided to cut it up, Jalen Ramsey, we've seen, has been able to get under it, but since he picked his angle, he cuts off the cutback lane, takes him to the sideline, and wraps up for no gain. And this doesn't even account for what I think Jalen Ramsey could do as a safety when he's in a 1-high or 2-high shell. Being able to play over the top, we see how much room he can cover in such a short amount of time, how he can close the gap. But I wanted to show you how he can be an integral part of the run game and play these flat coverages, come and make open field tackles, because we know what he can do in coverage and man-to-man, and what I think he could be doing in a zone if he has a whole half of the field or a whole third of the field. He can cover range better than any other player in the NFL. And I think this, combined with his instincts, his football IQ, and his physicality in the box, is what's going to take his game to the next level and extend his career another 5, 6, 7 years. So at the end of the day, this is why we can expect a lot more from Jalen Ramsey this upcoming year and for years to come. But what does this look like with him coming off of shoulder surgery? This might impact things and they might not play him in the box as much early on, but this is why I think Jalen Ramsey could make the transition from being the best corner in the league to the best safety in the league in the coming years. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like this video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think about Jalen Ramsey and who do you think is going to be the first person to take over as the best cornerback in the league if it hasn't happened already. And make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sports content. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel, but as always, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace!